Wives to thy sons. And Noah rose up and he made the ark in the place where Elohim had commanded him. Specificity, he had to do something. Not through grace alone and faith alone. He had to have works with that thing. And Noah did as Elohim had ordered him. In his 595th year, Noah commenced to make the ark. And he made the ark in 5 years. As Yahuwah had commanded. That's a long ordeal. Then Noah took the 3 daughters of Eliakim, son of who? Methuselah. They wanted the righteous women, right? For wives for his sons, as Yahuwah had commanded Noah. And it was at that time that Methuselah, the son of Noah, died. So that means that flood is coming. 960 years old was he at his death.
So he was the last righteous man standing.
Boy. Okay, now we're going to jump to Genesis 8. We're actually doing pretty good.
That's crazy, you know. Is that why some of the oldest living things was found in the ocean?
Right.
Because they didn't die.
There's mountains under there. There were mountains, but they got covered water and just never came back.
I think the octopus is evil, man.
Oh, yeah.
You ever seen an octopus, man, what they can do?
That's Leviathan. The big ones?
That's enough. Shoot out there.
Probably.
Squeeze into them. I'm not used to eat those things. That's good.
So one of y'all, when y'all get there, go ahead. Where y'all going with that?
Y'all remember Noah and every living thing and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And Yah made a wind to pass over the earth.
Wait.
And
To what?
He made a wind to pass over the earth.
Just like when there was chaos that was in the earth back in Genesis 1, the breath of the Most High, or the wind of the Most High came over everything, but it was pass over. We just had pass over. Like, he was still dealing with the same type of stuff even then. Because we know they was at least on the ark for, 150 days? Yeah. And we're going to read right after this about how crazy that thing got up in there. So, keep going.
And the waters assuaged.
Or died down.
The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. And the waters returned from off the earth continually, and after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated. And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month.
Wait, Shabbat is what day of the month?
7th.
The 7th day? Okay. Just check. Or the week, my bad.
Yeah.
Upon the mountains of Ararat.
So, bam. What does Ararat mean?
The curse reversed. Oh, well, yeah, that's what.
Because the Most High had cursed the earth. Like we've been reading about how the Most High had cursed the earth, and he cursed all men and all flesh. So the Most High had Noah and his family built this ark at a specific location because his seed was going to be the ones that did what? What does that say?
Replenish the earth.
No. What did you just read? What's the definition of it?
Oh, reverse the curse.
They were that's why there was 8 people. 8 is a new beginning. So he reversed the curse through Noah, put them on these mountains of Mount Ararat, right? Noah and his seed are supposed to be the ones that reverse the curse. Now, floods and the ark. Floods is also people that we deal with, or the nations. The ark of the covenant, well, we're the body of the Mashiach, but the ark is supposed to be in our heart or in our mind, right? Or in that's why everything's even now we're live streaming. Where do you find a stream at?
It's the body of water.
The water. Everything is spiritual. You got to pay attention to everything that's being said. Because I was like, what does Ararat mean? Wow, so that's why. And we know that Noah and all of mankind was given a covenant, right? That he would never destroy the earth anymore from what? Water. Because he also cursed the earth, he cursed man, he cursed beasts, he cursed everything. Noah and them went to Mount Ararat because they were obedient. They built the ark in that specific place with specificity, with everything, and they reversed that curse. That's why he has a rainbow in the sky. I'm saying this because we're not going to read chapter 9. We're just going to finish chapter 8, go to Joshua, and we're going to call it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I was trying to tell you, make sure you're checking out the words.
Yeah.
Because I saw that, I was like, man, that's crazy.
That's what takes me so long to get through.
Yeah.
Through a whole book, because I'm looking at every word, even the names.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Keep going though. We're on 5.
All right. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen.
Okay.
And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened.
So this
the
is kind of a
window.
backtrack, just so y'all know. This is kind of a backtrack at the 40-day mark, right?
Yeah. At the end of the 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and he sent forth a raven which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up off the earth. Also he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her in unto him, pulled her unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet other 7 days. And again he set forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came in to him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark, and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry.
So again, Noah's name means rest. Man was created on the 6th day, 601, but that means that's in the 7th or the 700, going up to 700, right? That's a whole new century, a whole new era. So like when you're reading these numbers, like just kind of sit back and think like, okay, I kind of see where we're going with this. Because again, they reversed the curse. There was 8 of them. It's a new beginning. So just making sure y'all paying attention. Okay, keep going.
I'm on 14?
Mhm.
14. And in the 2nd month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dry. And Yahuwah spake unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife and thy sons' wives, and with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful and multiply upon the earth.
So why did they, once they saw it dry, why didn't they just go ahead and get out of the ark? Why did they wait?
Because they was told to do something.
So they were obedient.
They were waiting for instruction.
Okay, just checking, make sure y'all paying attention. We good.
And Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth, after their kinds, went forth out of the ark. And Noah builded an altar unto Yahuwah, and took of every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar.
If there wasn't, clean and unclean. How would no one know what's clean and unclean? Why by twos for one and by sevens for another? But that's another. Keep going.
And Yahuwah smelled a sweet savor, and Yahuwah said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake.
Ararat? Because he had cursed the ground.
Oh, yeah, he reversed it.
Oh, okay. All right.
For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more everything living as I have done, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease.
So June came into this revelation. I'll let you talk about it. Go ahead.
So,
read
he
it.
said, and summer and winter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why he didn't mention spring, fall, autumn?
We're gonna read another witness to it too. I found another one last night.
I've
Give
came
me one
across
second.
3 times that there's only mention of summer and winter. No fall, no spring.
So you mean to
No,
me for the made up 2 more seasons?
There, fall, spring, and autumn. There's only 2 seasons ever mentioned in each book that I've read. I found well,
I know.
they
They
still,
changed it.
they still say it's another season somehow, autumn and fall. But I read it, I found it twice in the Bible, King James Version. I found it in Genesis, which right here where we're reading.
Mhm.
Manny found it again last night
Yeah, I found it twice.
in the Bible. I found it once in the Bible. Manny found it again last night in the Bible. But I read Enoch, and I found in Enoch a mention of just summer and winter. And
I found it again.
about 3 weeks ago, I read the prayer of Azariah, and in his prayer, he was mentioning everything that should give praise to the Most High. The heavens and the earth, for they were made, they should give praise to the Most High. The sun and the moon should give praise to the Most High. And even the summer and the winter should give praise to the Most High. Again,
and then
a
I found
mention
another one.
of
I'm
only
gonna read
2
that at the
seasons.
end. Yeah.
So,
So we got 3 or 4 witnesses. So we're still in winter. I think winter should.
Yeah,
start,
we're still
Summer
in
should
winter.
start in May. It should be from May till probably, was that November?
it's
Probably May till November, and then
like maybe the middle of May, or no, I wouldn't say the beginning of May. Maybe like a second week in May.
right. So the middle of May, I'd say to like the middle of November when the quote unquote fall starts. That's really winter. That's the beginning of winter. Like they got us so backwards because the beast is supposed to change times and seasons and laws. That's what they doing. They got us in spring and in fall, and it doesn't really make sense. So he was right. It was too many witnesses. He was right.
Yeah.
Too many. So now let's go to Jasher, book 6 or chapter 6.
That's like they just
Bro, they got us all backwards, man.
like I've been telling people. Like I said, you can be doing everything the Most High told you except one. If the enemy can just distract you from one, he got you. So like you
Moses
said,
didn't walk in the land.
but it's just so crazy that, like you said, little things like this, like people are like, oh, that don't matter. What the season got to do with it? Oh, what this got to do with it? Man, they're gonna change whatever they can
Wow,
to make it seem normal.
It's just 2 seasons, man. They didn't have this for a long time.
And you said to make it seem normal. One phrase.
The new normal.
There's one phrase that's just been getting on my nerves. I've been hearing it everywhere. Everybody's trying to get these jabs so they can get back to a sense of normalcy, or however they pronounce it.
I'm like, how our lives haven't even changed. Like, what are you talking about?
My life, it been better because I ain't got a lot of people in my face.
Bruh, you ain't gotta deal with co-workers every day. Like, oh man, this
Like-
is cool.
Get back, you don't know me like this.
Sense of normalcy.
That's ludicrous.
Yeah.
What you did there?
What was you gonna say, man? You good?
Well, no, but like you said, like you said, like our life's like been changed. And now people saying, well, they're going back to no mask mandates almost everywhere. Well, like people are getting back from, they don't have to wear masks anymore. Like, y'all really that fearful of something? I ain't scared of nothing, man. I ain't scared of no gun, no knife,
Bro, you can't
no
even see
child.
it. You can't even see it. You can't fight it.
Bro.
Like, the thing that I heard, I went, where was I at? I think I went to Office Depot, and I went in there without a mask on.
They made you put one on.
So they made me put one because I had to print some off.
They
Right?
made me put one on.
So, like, there was a FedEx worker that came in there. He didn't have no mask on. He was like, man, why y'all tripping? Because he had just delivered stuff to him. The world is open now. Like, the world, man, don't own the world. Like, that's how brainwashed people are. And I'm like, man, this is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
They literally shut down the world from something you can't see.
The world is open.
Listen,
Just think about it.
it would trip me out.
That's crazy.
I can't wait till that open outside back up. This outside. You can't wait till outside open back up.
Man, if it was so bad, then how come when the animals dying or nothing like that, man?
Well,
It's just something inhuman?
Supposedly they say that, you know, some of the animals have caught corona cases and all of that, but
Yeah, they
Yeah,
said
the
a lot.
one.
suppose.
Yeah, they said it was like a cat and a dog that never was associated with
Yeah,
corona
I mean,
ever.
But they said that we were derived from monkeys, so monkey see, monkey do. I don't know. I don't believe anything like that they be saying. I just can't. It's to that point because they lie about it. The whole entirety of our life, we believed in what 4 seasons.
So I said, don't they lie about nothing for no reason.
Man, dude.
I can't believe nothing you put out. Man, I don't care.
What's the point? Like, why don't you tell us? Well, we added this because of this. Why don't you say, oh no, there's 4 seasons? No, there's not. There's summer and there's winter. That's pretty much it. And summer and winter both go through progressions to get to each other. That's the problem. They don't want to explain these things. And I'm like, man, if they lie about this, like you said, you can't trust a word they say. Like,
Man.
Something as simple as the change of the weather.
Let me tell you something, I was done with it when they said Italy and New York was the same place on national TV.
stop
I was done.
it! Stop it!
I'm like, pilot, man, I wash my hands.
Stop it, dude. Oh man, that hurt. That one hurt. All right, man. So now we're gonna find out more about the ordeal that they had to go through to get into the ark. Okay. So Joshua 6. At that time, after the death of Methuselah, Yahuwah said to Noah, "Go thou with thy household into the ark. Behold, I will gather to thee all the animals of the earth, the beasts of the field, and the fowls of the air, and they shall come and surround the ark. Thou shalt go and seat thyself by the doors of the ark." That's what priests do. "And all the beasts, the animals, and the fowls shall assemble and place themselves before thee, and such of them as shall come and crouch before thee shalt thou take and deliver into the hands of thy sons, who shall bring them to the ark, and all that will stand before thee thou shalt leave."
Talk about. So the animals even did, like, they was even being obedient.
Where do you think they got that stuff from the movie from? They didn't necessarily pull it from Genesis. The movie you're talking about, the Noah movie with Russell Crowe, they was pulling it from this.
That's crazy.
And Yahuwah brought this about on the next day. So he just said, yeah, just leave the door open. You know, the animals, they're just gonna come in and do what they do. No, he told them to be in the ark. You know, have your sons be by the door of the ark, and let the ones that bow down into. What if they was just like, okay, these two look the healthiest, this is that? You think they would have been saved?
That's crazy. I ain't like, you know what else did that? Lion King. They bowed, the animals bowed down with somebody. That's crazy. That's dope. That's dope, man.
And Noah went and seated himself by the door of the ark, and of all flesh that crouched before him, he brought into the ark, and all that stood before him he left upon earth. And a lioness came with her 2 whelps, male and female, and the 3 crouched before Noah, and the 2 whelps rose up against the lioness and smote her, and made her flee from her place. And she went away, and they returned to their places, and crouched upon the earth before Noah. And the lioness ran away, and stood in the place of the lion. So the younger one was like, "Mama, get out of here! You lived your life." And that's what they did.
Yeah.
That's
Before
what.
we get out of here.
Yeah, that's what they did.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback off y'all ticket.
Yeah, for real. And Noach saw this and wondered greatly, and he rose and took the two whelps and brought them into the ark. And Noach brought into the ark from all living creatures that were upon earth, so that there was none left but which Noah brought into the ark. 2 and 2 came to Noach into the ark. But from the clean animals and clean fowls he brought 7 couples, as Elohim had commanded. Obedience.
So 7 couples.
Yeah.
So that was 14 off.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 7. Yeah, 7. Male and female. Right.
Genesis.
I thought it just said 7 of the
7 males, 7 females. You don't just bring 7 males. You got to bring 7 females so they can multiply.
It mentioned it in Genesis, but
I didn't catch that part. I thought-
Because they brought them in by 7, so it's like they said here, making plain 7 couples.
they're still worded and confusing in Genesis.
Right, it is. And all the animals and beasts and fowls were still there, and they surrounded the ark at every place. Like, man, I know y'all don't let us in. And the rain had not descended till 7 days after. So they waited a whole week. Okay. Another Shabbat. And on that day, Yahuwah caused the whole earth to shake, and the sun darkened, and the foundations of the world raged, and the whole earth was moved violently, and the lightning flashed, and the thunder roared, and all the fountains in the earth were broken up, such as was not known to the inhabitants before. And Elohim did this mighty act in order to terrify the sons of men, that there might be no more evil upon earth.
So there was another wake up call he was giving them. And they still.
Well, let's see. Go ahead, Bam. You go ahead and start reading. Go ahead. Verse 12.
And still the sons of men would not return from their evil ways. But they increased the anger of Yahweh at the time, and did not even direct their hearts to all this.
So they they still wouldn't even, after seeing the thunder and lightning and the foundations of the world being shaken, they were just so, nah, man, I'm about to do what I got to do. Do what you do and watch my shoes or my sandals back then.
Watch my sandals. Water before destruction.
Okay. And at the end of 7 days, in the 600th year of the life of Noah, the waters of the flood were upon the earth. Remember, and he's 600. And all the fountains of the deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened, and the rain was upon the earth 40 days and 40 nights. And Noah and his household and all the living creatures that were with him came into the ark on account of the waters of the flood, and Yahuwah shut him in. And all the sons of men that were left upon the earth became exhausted through evil on account of the rain. For the waters were coming more violently upon the earth, and the animals and beasts were still surrounding the ark. So they're surrounded by enemies, point blank period. And the sons of men assembled together, about 700,000 men and women, and they came unto Noach to the ark. And they called to Noach, saying, Open for us that we may come to thee in the ark. And wherefore shall we die? So what do you think Noah's going to do? Did the Most High tell him to open the ark for people?
No.
He said only...
He didn't even tell him. He said, I will open it.
Because he showed closed it. The Most High did.
Right. And the Most High, if he shut the door, you better not try to, you better leave that thing alone.
No, that's what he said.
You go die to death.
And Noach, with a loud voice, answered them from the ark, saying, Have you not all rebelled against Yahuwah, and said that he does not exist? That's like the age that we're living in now. And therefore Yahuwah brought upon you this evil to destroy and cut you off from the face of the earth. Check this out. Is not this the thing that I spoke to you of 120 years back? I've been telling these people for 120 years. And you would not hearken to the voice of Yahuwah. And now do you desire to live upon earth? You wouldn't even listen to what he's saying. Now you think you want to live now?
No, not the place where he created. Nah.
Because
You don't wanna
represents
live there.
order. But he gave them an ordered time or an ordained time to get correct, and they didn't.
That's because they were too worried about living. And the only reason they're at Noah's feet now is because they want to live.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to die.
Mm-hmm.
That's
They're scared
crazy
to
though.
die.
Like, they so ignorant in their own head. The man gave you a timeline. If you made it through that timeline, like, listen here, I made it. Let me go and get right.
I bet you.
I wish I had a timeline. Like, hey man, you got 45 days to get right. I'm coming back. Now, he was so gracious and gave y'all the whole timeline.
Bro, he gave them 120
And these
years.
folks are so scared to die that they
Enoch was
that is
prophesying about that type of stuff. What was going to happen?
Man.
I bet you those ones that he took a year before this flood wasn't scared to die. That was walking
No.
on the way of Yahuwah. They wasn't scared to die because they know that you have to die to death to get to where you need to be.
You gotta be
But what does the world of
transit.
today do? They
YOLO.
want you to live forever.
Rick Ross, I want to live forever.
And
Oh.
ever.
You only live once.
Huh?
Yeah, but you
According to who?
can live once, but you can live
die,
twice.
or you can die twice.
Or you can die twice. So like I said, you can live once and die twice.
Okay.
But what?
You can die of this flesh and you can die of the spirit. So which one you want to do?
Man. Choose now, death or life. And they said to Noach, we are ready to return to you. Did I not just tell y'all for 120 years this is going to happen? Oh, y'all thought I was playing?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Noach, we're ready to return to the Father. Just open up, man. Just call him.
Let me ask a question.
What's up?
So, does it give a description of like how long it didn't rain up until that point?
No, it didn't say that it didn't rain up until that point.
Oh,
It didn't say that.
so that was just on the
It just
move.
wasn't raining like this.
It wasn't raining continuously and furious because like
Yeah.
they get heavy showers right now.
I
Like
know,
heavy
but I'm
showers.
saying
It
even
didn't
when
say it was a drought, so.
even when he woke, I mean he made the guys just come up out the earth with the fountains, and when he was doing all this, the earthquakes before that, the earthquakes and the thunder and the lightning, and like the sun, like the sun had dark. So all this happened, and he was trying to shake them up, get a reaction out of them.
And nothing.
Nothing.
Stiff neck, like our people.
Now I'm like, and it said it was stiff neck. Yeah, that was a literal description. I said, boy, I tell you, okay. Mine's good.
Me too.
I'm going to read 21 again. And they said to Noah, we are ready to return to Yahuwah. Only open for us that we may live and not die. And Noah answered them, saying, behold now that you see the trouble of your souls, you wish to return to Yahuwah? Why did you not return during these 120 years, which Yahuwah granted you as the determined period? But now you come and tell me this on account of the troubles of your souls. Now also Yahuwah will not listen to you, neither will he give ear to you on this day, so that you will not succeed in your wishes. And the sons of men approached in order to break into the ark, to come in on account of the rain, for they could not bear the rain upon. So Noah knows the most I shut that door, I don't have no power to open that thing. He said only 8 of us are gonna survive, only 8 of us are gonna be in this joint.
That's it. That's all.
That's it. And because he was doing what? He used his obedience. His faith was in his obedience to the Most High. That's what gave him the grace. That's why he was a just and righteous man in all his generation, right? And Yahuwah sent all the beasts and animals that stood around the ark. And the beasts overpowered them and drove them from that place. And every man went his way, and they again scattered themselves upon the face of the earth. And the rain was still descending upon the earth, and it descended 40 days and 40 nights. And the waters prevailed greatly upon the earth. And all flesh that was upon the earth or in the waters died, whether men, animals, beasts, creeping things, or birds of the air. And there only remained Noah and those that were with him in the ark.
So you mean to tell me, all those ones that didn't bow down, the animals,
They did.
they did. But they still had a part to do. Like they had to drive the men away from the ark.
Bro. Melchizedek, of course, Yahusha is the ultimate Melchizedek. Melchizedek is a title. King and priest. You gotta pay the respect that's due. The Most High gave Noah that type of respect. And if they wasn't gonna respect him, then he ain't gonna let them come in there until they can kill all the animals in there. Like it's an order. That's why he gave 120 years. He was like, hey, this is ordained. Like if y'all don't get right in this chronological order, it's a wrap. Like, we just gonna call it.
And is that not the same time that he gave for man to live on this earth? He was like, 'cause he said he's gonna limit their years to 120.
120. But
I know after that, I'm just saying, but
that's not necessarily men, because he said that talking to Moshe, and Moshe died because he sinned against the Most High by not doing exactly what he said. Because on one account it says that he was supposed to speak to the rock, and he
he did it twice.
hitting it twice. But in another account, the Most High told him to strike the rock once, and he was so mad because people kept saying it, he struck it twice. So Moshe again became an Elohim in the flesh. So when the Most High is actually saying that, we got to think what was happening that time. Moshe and Joshua or Yahushua were going back and they were fighting giants, the seed of the Nephilim. That they should have been living for hundreds of years. So that was actually the Most High putting a limit on their lives of 120 years. Because there's been people who live longer than that. But that's another thing. We'll get into that a different time. My bad.
No. I need to
So what?
No, I need to hear that.
What verse was I on?
Let me see, you was on 27.
127. And the waters prevailed, and they greatly increased upon the earth. And they lifted up the ark, and it was raised from the earth. And the ark floated upon the face of the waters, and it was tossed upon the waters, so that all the living creatures were turned about like pottage in a cauldron. That's what I'm saying. You still have to have faith now. Even though having faith does not mean that you don't have some fear, that you're not scared, and that you don't. We like, man, Most High, like, hey, you got us in this ark. Now it took me 5 years to build this, and this how I'm gonna die?
Yeah, I was thinking about that last night, like, because we had went over the story of Yahusha and everything. I was thinking about that to myself, and I was like, man, even though he was afraid, and he had prayed twice, like, he still feared the Most High.
More than that
Right,
fear.
so being afraid and having fear, that's basically just two different things. But you can be afraid of, if you allow yourself to be afraid of something for so long, to turn into fear, and you'll start to fear that more than you'll fear the Most High. And that's what was just on my mind last night before I went to sleep, because I had a whole sermon in my head to myself about an hour before I went to sleep about that, about being afraid and having fear. I don't know why, it just came up on me.
That's word. You said exactly what it was. You had a whole sermon in your head.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna need you to get that together. So one of these could be you, and then bam. Yeah, one of these is gonna be you. Still doing the running man, huh?
Nah,
All right.
I don't do the challenges, man. Last time I ran, I pulled another hamstring.
I knew he was back on the board. Anyway, 29. And great anxiety seized all the living creatures that were in the ark. And the ark was like to be broken. And all the living creatures that were in the ark were terrified. And the lions roared. And the oxen lowed. And the wolves howled. And every living creature in the ark spoke and lamented in its own language, so that their voices reached to a great distance. And Noach and his sons cried and wept in their troubles. They were scared, boss. They were greatly afraid that they had reached the gates of death. So they thought, oh, this is it. Elizabeth! Oh, this was it.
Big one.
This was the literal big one. And Noach prayed unto the Most High, and cried unto him on account of this. And he said, O Yahuwah, help us, for we have no strength to bear this